Hello, everyone. From that clickety-clack sound, it's time for TV Oblivion, the podcast. I'm your host, Pete Costanis. This is episode 28, season 2. Today's date is January 22nd, 2023, and here is today's lineup. From the 1950s, I will talk about the TV sitcom The Adventures of Hiram Holliday. From the 1960s, the Laurel and Hardy cartoon series. From the 1970s, the TV crime drama Delvecchio. From the 1980s, the TV sitcom Better Days. From the 1990s, the TV crime drama The Big Easy. From 2000s, the TV sitcom Big Day. And from the 2010s, American Gothic. So it's an interesting show. And I hope you can stay and listen. Right now, the program will go into a commercial break. And this program is brought to you by Grease Relief. And this is a cleaner. And it's from the makers of Texsize. And here's a commercial from 1976. When I come back, I'll talk about the product and resume with the show. Take care, everyone.
Spaghetti. What a mess. That's why I use it. Because my dishes, plasticware, pots, pans get greasy. That's why I use it.
Grease Relief.
Because my stove, countertop, sink get greasy. I use Grease Relief everywhere. Because there's no better way I know of to get rid of grease.
Grease Relief in the quick trigger control top bottle or the economy squeeze bottle. In the kitchen, laundry.
Use Grease Relief.
Because it degreases.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the commercial for Grease Relief. It's still around, the product. It used to be made by the company called Texsize. Do you remember Fantastic and K2R? I don't know if K2R is still around. I don't think so. Fantastic, I think it's still around. So they probably some other company bought it and all that. But you can find them. You can find the products at any grocery store, Walmart, Target, Amazon. So I remember this product very well from the 70s, and they had the economy size. That if you run out of the, with the squeeze bottle, you could just pour for the economy size bottle. You could just pour the rest in there. I think they did. I think they did that with Formula 409. Okay. At the beginning of the program, I explained about the lineup for today's show, so let's get started. First up, I'm going to talk about The Adventures of Hiram Holliday. And this was a sitcom that first aired on NBC. It premiered on October 3rd, 1956. It ended February 27, 1957. Ran for 23 episodes. 3 were unaired for just one season, black and white. And it starred the famous TV actor Wally Cox. He's best known for his role in Mr. Peepers. And that was very successful at the time. And a lot of people that sitcom has been largely forgotten. I never seen it because I wasn't born yet, but I read about it, and I'd like to do a podcast episode about that show someday. We'll see. So this series was based on the 1939 novel of the same name by Paul Gallico, and the plot was it focuses on the adventures of a newspaper proofreader. And throughout the years, he gained he was like the skills of James Bond. He did physical combat, shooting, rock climbing, scuba diving. I don't know if it was him. I've seen the show once. I don't know if that's Wally Cox doing all these feats. Could be a stuntman and all that. And the proofreader was, of course, Hiram Holliday. and he revealed to be very muscular when he was stripped. So, but he was a scrawny guy. He wasn't that much like that. And so it was very unusual at that time, and it didn't do very well in the ratings. What was interesting about the show was that it aired. It was the first series in U.S. series to be shown 5 days a week in the same time slot. I don't know what time it was on, but it was on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So you could, they showed every new episode. It's like a soap opera. So that's pretty cool. And, but that was in prime time, like that. And let's see what else. I would love to get that on DVD. That'd be kind of cool. So right now, I'm going to play the theme song for The Adventures of Hiram Holliday, and when I come back, I'll talk a little bit about Wally Cox. Okay? So sit back and enjoy, everyone. Thank you.
Instant Sanka coffee. The hearty coffee you can drink as strong as you like. It still can't upset your nerves. Presents The Adventures of Hiram Holliday. Based on stories by Paul Gallico. Starring Wally Cox.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the theme song for The Adventures of Hiram Holliday. Before I start with Wally Cox, let me mention one thing. The author, Paul Gallico, who wrote The Adventures of Hiram Holliday, he also wrote another famous novel, and that was and then it turned into a movie, and it was The Poseidon Adventure. He did that, and also the sequel, Beyond The Poseidon Adventure. I've seen The Poseidon Adventure a couple of times. I've seen the movie. It's a classic 70s disaster movie. The sequel, I never seen it. I never seen it. That would have been interesting, but it didn't do well in the box office. Not the second one, of course. As for Wally Cox, he was born Wallace Maynard Cox on December 6th, 1924. And his first TV sitcom was Mr. Peepers. And he appeared in movies. He is also famous for the voice of the superhero Underdog. I love Underdog. Oh, I love that show. And he was, he looked like a real nerd, but he was not really like that. He was very intelligent, and but he had that voice like that. Also, he was famous on Hollywood Squares in the 60s and early 70s, like that. And so, he was like a mainstay of television, and one of those famous character actors. He wasn't really a character actor, like that. Unfortunately, he passed away unexpectedly on February 15, 1973, at age 48, and he died of a heart attack. That's terrible. It really is. And so that's a shame. It really was, because a lot of people don't know today. A lot of people wouldn't know who he was, but he was a funny man. I liked him. Very entertaining. I remember watching him from Hollywood Squares. That's the first time I watched him. When I was a child. Okay, and also Underdog. Okay, next up we have the Laurel and Hardy animated series. This one I remember fondly. This premiered on September 10th, 1966, ended March 25th, 1967. Ran for one season on NBC. It had 156 episodes, but it was about a running time for these were about 5 minutes long, so it was very short like that. And it was based on the classic comedy team, Laurel and Hardy. Hanna-Barbera created the series. Let's see. So I forgot what I was going to say. Yeah. So the voices of the Laurel and Hardy. Stan Laurel's voice was Larry Harmon. He's famous for his alter ego, Bozo the Clown. And Oliver Hardy was voiced by Jim McGeorge. He was also an American voice actor and puppeteer. And Larry Harmon did a good job as Stan Laurel. He really did. And as for Oliver Hardy, Jim McGeorge, he wasn't bad at all. He wasn't bad indeed. I remember this show very fondly. I remember one episode that stood out in my mind for a long time. I watched one episode on a Sunday morning right before church, and the episode was called Copper Bopper. And this one was about Stan and Ollie were London bobbies in London. And they were standing outside drinking tea, and behind a building, there was Dr. Jekyll's laboratory, from Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And he tried on an experiment, and he drank a potion, and he turned into Mr. Hyde. But he said it didn't work very well, so he poured the formula out the window, and it landed in Stanley's teacup. and then he drank it. Unbeknownst to him, he didn't know what was going on, and then he drank it, and then he turned into an alter ego, Mr. Hyde, and gave Ollie a hard time. And Oliver didn't know it was him. He thought he didn't know it was Stan. He was somebody else. Like that. And then towards the end of the show, Ollie drank it, and then he turned into that. And when I was a little kid, I was a little disturbed by it. I was kind of nervous like that. And I don't know. I didn't want to watch that episode, but I bought a DVD with some of the episodes of the show, and Copper Bopper was in there. And I watched it. It's not how I remembered it, but it was okay. I'm okay with that. Later in the 70s, Stan and Ollie appeared in these new Scooby-Doo movies. And Larry Harmon and Jim McGeorge did the voices, so it was just like from the cartoons. So it was kind of that one was funny. That particular episode where the Scooby and the gang had to deal with Bigfoot. It's one of the funniest episodes ever. I like that one. And I remember one classic scene. He was when they were staying at a lodge, like a ski lodge, and Stan and Ollie were in their bedroom, and Stanley went to brush his teeth, and then he's at the bathroom window, and when he opened the medicine chest, there was Bigfoot. He goes, and Ollie said, "What was Bigfoot doing in the bathroom?" And Stanley said, "Maybe he was looking for an aspirin." and Ollie said, "Looking for an aspirin," just like the Laurel and Hardy classic bits, like that. Okay, so right now I'm going to play the theme song for Laurel and Hardy and the animated series. When I come back, I'll talk a little bit about Jim McGeorge, who voiced Ollie. Okay, thank you, everyone. Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the introduction of Laurel and Hardy, the anime series. I'll talk a little bit about Jim McGeorge. A lot of people don't remember him. He's best known for his voice roles as Uncle Captain Horatio K. Huff and Puff in Beanie and Cecil. Remember that show? Also, Crowy, like that. If you were a fan of let's see. If you're a fan of Beanie and Cecil, which I was, with Dishonest John, yeah, I love that show. It's funny like that. And he also appeared on camera, and he also he appeared on Get Smart, but not as Oliver Hardy, as Stan Laurel. That kind of strange like that. He was also in, let's see, for example, he was in the movie Semi Tough, and on Happy Days he appeared on that. So he had mostly he did voice work, cartoons. Like for example, he, like I mentioned, the new Scooby Doo movies. He did the Funky Phantom. He was on Wait Till Your Father Gets Home. Remember that? There was Speed Buggy, Clue Club, The Three Robonic Stooges, Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels. Remember that? Oh, like that, and so on and so on. A lot of the Flintstones. Later on in the 80s, he did voice work for that. Also, Richie Rich, and he was in the Smurfs. Did that too. And his first film role was Teenagers from Outer Space, and he played a cop. He did that. And he also did a few characters in Star Wars, which I didn't know that. Yeah, it's interesting like that. And, he was also a writer. He was born October 9th, 1928. He died last year at this time, at the age of 92. Yeah, 1 year ago. That's a shame. He was a very talented man. Yeah, he was pretty good. He was just very versatile. Like that. Okay. Next up, we have, from the 1970s, the TV crime drama, Delvecchio. I remember this show very well. And I remember the promos, watching them on CBS. So I'll give you a little history of this show. It premiered on September 9th, 1976, ended March 13th, 1977, aired on CBS. Ran for one season. It was an hour-long show. 2 were unaired, and it starred that famous TV actor Judge Hirsch. And his role was Sergeant Dominic Delwap. That was his nickname. Delvecchio. Also in the cast was Charles Haid as Sergeant Paul, the fat Polish Sergeant Shonsky. Oh, boy. And also was Michael Conrad as Lieutenant McCavin and Mario Gallo as Tommaso Delvecchio. They played, that was Judge Hirsch's, he played Judge Hirsch's father. So Michael Conrad and Charles Haid were both later starred on Hill Street Blues, and also recurring in the cast was James B. Sicking. He was in there too, yeah. The premise of the show, he was an Italian American detective. He worked in Los Angeles at the police department and studied to become a lawyer. And he graduated law school, but he failed the bar exam. And his father couldn't understand why he chose a career doing that. Why don't you become a lawyer? Well, that's a lot of parents say that. I watched the show once when I was in the 70s. I watched it. It was pretty good. Judge Hirsch, I liked him in Taxi. He was great in that. I remember in Rhoda, He played Valerie Harper's boyfriend. It's pretty good. And also Dear John later on. Taxi was his best for him. That suited him fine. He was pretty good in that TV show. And there was a competition when it aired. It aired against the Streets of San Francisco. And so that didn't. Then it moved, and then that didn't do any good. So that's a shame, about that. And so that's and Stephen Boschko, who created Hill Street Blues, wrote for this show. So that's why those actors came over to Hill Street Blues. Okay, right now I'm going to play the theme song for Delvecchio. And when I come back, I'll talk a little bit about Judge Hirsch. Okay? Just sit back and enjoy, everyone. Thank you. Okay, everyone, I'm back. I hope you enjoyed the introduction of Delvecchio. I just remember I talked a little bit about Judge Hirsch on a previous podcast episode. I'll talk about him right now just for a second. The one classic episode of Taxi I remember that featured Judge Hirsch is that there was the episode where Bobby Wheeler, played by Jeff Conaway, got a role in a soap opera. But he got killed off, and then he talked to Danny DeVito, Louis De Palma, to get Bobby Wheeler to come back to the cab company, and then Danny DeVito went bonkers and all that, and Louis was in the dispatcher's cage, and then Alex Rieger just pulled the cage off the wall. And then grabbed Louis like a baby and just took him down. Oh, that's funny. I love that one. That's a classic episode. But I want to talk about Charles Hayde. I never touched him. He was a very good actor. He's best known as Officer Andy Renko in Hill Street Blues. I watched the show. He was pretty good in that. He was in the movie Altered States. He played Doctor. And he's still acting, and he's a director, so he's still around. And one of his first film roles was in Gunsmoke. He was in that, and so every time you see a TV movie or any movie in the theater, there he was. Mostly it was television. I liked him. He's a good actor. He really is. Okay, next up we have the sitcom from the 1980s, Better Days. I remember this show. I really do. I've seen it maybe once, and that was it. Didn't last long. So here we go with the history of this. It premiered on October 1st, 1986, and lasted to October 29th. 1986, same month. Ran for one season. Had 11 episodes only, but it only ran 4, 7 unaired. Who knows where they are? And it was a sitcom, and it starred actor Raphael Sbarge, and he was Brian McGuire. And the plot of the show was he was a teenager from California who he moves in with his grandfather Harry in Brooklyn to ease his parents' financial problems, and he's helping Brian, to adjust with two African American kids. One was Luther King and Anthony the Snake Johnson, and they were on the Broxton High School basketball team. And Luther King was played by Chip McAllister, and Anthony the Snake Johnson was played by Guy Gilliam. Also in the cast was Randall Bandikoff, and the grandfather, Harry Clooney, was played by always dependable actor Dick O'Neill. Also in the cast was Randy Heller. She played Miss Harriet Winters. She was the teacher. You may see her as I remember her from Soap. I remember she played a lesbian, and she became friends with Billy Crystal's character Jody Dallas. I remember that. And it didn't do well in the ratings. They don't. I guess it was bad. I don't know. I seen another episode on YouTube recently. It's okay. Raphael Sabarchi's a very good actor. Very very handsome. And he's starting a lot of stuff. So I'm going to play the theme song of Better Days. When I come back, I'll talk a little bit about the actor, Raphael Sabarch. Okay, everyone. Sit back and enjoy.
Hi, I'm Brian McGuire, and this is how I always dreamed my life would be. But it never was. And now it never will be. See, my parents broke up and sent me to Brooklyn to live with my grandpa. Instead of riding the waves, I'm riding the subways with my new buddies Luther and Snake. I kind of like it here. It's a trade I can live with. California oranges for the Big Apple.
People say it's a tough situation for new faces in the old hometown. But every moment is just interpretation, and somehow there's always some magic around. You kick up your heels, stand your ground, and say, these are my better days. Got an angel on my shoulder. These are my better days. Like a faithful friend when the nights get colder. No cloud gonna darken my sky. No shadow gonna shake me down. I'm gonna win this town. These are my better days. Better days. These are my better days.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the theme song for Better Days. I'm going to talk about Raphael Sabarch right now. He was born February 12, 1964. He's best known for his role as Jake Straka on the TV show The Guardian, and also on Once Upon a Time as Dr. Archibald Hopper. Yeah, I've never seen the show. I'm going to start watching it. And he did a lot of interesting shows in the 80s and movies. Like, for example, he also did stage work. He did that. His film credits were Risky Business. I remember seeing that with Tom Cruise, Vision Quest, My Science Project. Let's see what else. Independence Day, he was in there. Basketball, and also Pearl Harbor, he was in there. And he was, he was in the pilot of the Fox TV series Werewolf. Do you remember that? When Fox Network was first introduced, he was in that just in the pilot of the show. And so he's still acting, and he also acted in the soap opera The Young and the Restless. He's a busy guy. He really is. And Yeah, he's also recently he was in Chicago Fire, also in Better Call Saul. He played like that. So, yeah, I saw him on an episode of Mercy Road with the '80s, outfits like that. Yeah, so I don't know. So what did I say? He's a good actor. I like him a lot. Okay, and he was also in the television film The Billionaire Boys Club. I remember this mini series like that. It was a TV movie like that. And as for Murder She Wrote, I've seen one episode so far, but he started another two. I haven't watched it yet, so we will see. Okay. Next up, we have from the 1990s, The Big Easy. Now, this is based on the film from 1986, and that film started Dennis Quaid, Ellen Barkin, John Goodman, and Ned Beatty, and it was shot and it was set in New Orleans, shot on location in New Orleans, and it was a big hit. It was very successful, and so one day they decided to do a TV show for that. And none of the cast members came to the TV show, of course. So this premiered on August 11, 1996. Then it ended October 12, 1997. Ran for 2 seasons, 35 episodes. It did not premiere on a network. It premiered not on like CBS, ABC, or NBC. It premiered on the USA Network. That's when they started original programming, and they still do that to this day. And the premise was it's a New Orleans detective and a female district attorney to investigate crimes for the New Orleans Police Department. Excuse me. And the cast consists of Tony Crane. He played Detective Remy McSwain. I think that's Dennis Quaid's character. Also, Barry Corbin is Sheriff C.D. LeBlanc. You may know him from Northern Exposure. Also, Eric George as Smiley Dupree. Susan Walters as Anne Osborne. She only appeared in the first season. Carla Tamborelli. She was Detective Darlene Broussard in the first season. And also Troy Bryant as ADA Lightning Hawkins. When the second season came, Susan Walters, Carla Tamborelli, and Troy Bryant were gone. And then they added actress Leslie Bibb. And she appeared as Detective Janine Rebenek. I've seen the show maybe once or twice. It's pretty good. I remember the promos of the show. It was heavily promoted during that time. Right now, I'm going to play the theme song for The Big Easy, the TV series. When I come back, I'll talk a little bit about Tony Crane. He had an interesting career. So sit back and enjoy, everyone. Thank you. Big Easy! Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the theme song for The Big Easy. I'm going to talk a little bit about Tony Crane. He was also known as J. Anthony Crane, and he's best known for that role as Rummy McSwain from the TV series The Big Easy. He was a stage actor, and he played that, and he's still appearing on stage. And he played Lancelot in the musical production of Spamalot in Las Vegas. That's a funny show. It's hilarious. I wish I'd seen it. I like to do that. Let's see for other credits. He's still acting to this day. The last acting part he did was Blue Bloods with Tom Selleck. That's pretty good, like that. And also Madam Secretary. He was an Ugly Betty. Life on Mars, The Third Watch, Judging Amy. He was on The Practice, and on Touched by an Angel. He was in a couple movies. He was on Wishmaster with the evil genie. Who I don't like that one. Scary. And he was also in the movie The War of the Roses. That was with Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner. I saw that in the theater. I didn't know he was in that movie. But he was a teenager then. He was very young. His first TV role was on Family Ties in 1987. And then he starred in Roseanne. So I got to go back and watch and find him. He probably was unrecognizable. Like that. So The Big Easy was a good show. It really was. It's too bad it didn't last long. Okay. Next up we have from the 2000s is the sitcom Big Day. This one is a show that came and went. So it was one of those one-season shows. It premiered on ABC November 28th, 2006. Ended January 30th, 2007. Just for 13 episodes, one season. And the plot of the show was Big Day follows a major event in a couple's life. Their wedding day, during the course, and one day from all the characters' viewpoints. So if you watch the show, or if you have, you won't understand what's going on. And this was similar to a series from the BBC, and it was called The Worst Week of My Life. And they got that from, and it starred Marla Sokoloff. You may know her from, I think, Private Practice. I don't know if she was in, I think Private Practice. I don't know if she was on Grey's Anatomy. When I play the theme song, this will be the promo, that is. I'll talk a little bit about her. She played Alice Hopkins. Then you have Josh Cook, played Danny Garfinkel. Kurt Fuller played Dr. Steve Hopkins. Wendy Malick played her mom, Jane Hopkins. Terry Chen played Johnny. Miriam Shore played Becca Hopkins. Stephen Ranazizi played Jay Skobinski. Stephanie Weir played Lorna. I remember her. I think she had a talk show. Diora Baird played Kristen, and Leslie Odom Jr. played Freddie. He was in a lot of TV shows. I remember that. And it didn't do well in the ratings, of course. Like it didn't. But right now I'm going to play. I couldn't find the theme song. Well, I did, but it's very short. But I play a promo. So sit back and listen to the promo of Big Day. And when I come back, I will talk about Marla Sokoloff, the actress that played Alice Hopkins. Okay? Thank you, everyone.
In the tradition of Meet the Fockers and Wedding Crashers...
That's my tux. Really?
ABC is giving you a reason to celebrate.
Everybody's invited!
With a new comedy that is worth saying I do to.
Woohoo!
It's not too late to RSVP for the Big Day. That's a big laugh.
Is that your wedding dress?
The cake is about to hit the fan. Big Day, a new comedy Tuesday, 9, 8 Central, only on ABC.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the promo for Big Day. I'll talk a little bit about Marla Sokolov, and she was best known as Lucy Hatcher from the not from Private Practice. I want to apologize for that. It was The Practice. That was the legal drama series. You know, you get Private Practice and Practice mixed up. And she was also known as Gia Mahan on Full House, also Fuller House. And she appeared in films as True Crime, Dude, Where's My Car? What a silly movie. And Sugar and Spice. And let's see. So she was she started at Full House as Gia Mahan, excuse me, and she was 12 years old. You know, she was very young. You know, she was a little girl back then. And she also appeared in 3 episodes of the TV series Desperate Housewives. She was in that. And she's still acting to this day, so that's good. And what else she appeared on? The Toll Booth, that's the movie. Well, actually, her first acting role was not Full House. It was Boy Meets World. Remember that show? Also appeared on Step by Step, Home Improvement, She appeared on 7 episodes of Jodie Lynch, not as Jodie Lynch, and Party of 5. And also Third Rock from the Sun, Seventh Heaven. Yeah, but she's best known as Lucy Hatcher on The Practice. She was there for all 113 episodes. So that's pretty good. I've seen The Practice. It's a good show. Okay. Last show I will talk about is from the 2010s, American Gothic. Not to be confused with the TV series from 1995 of the same name that starred Gary Cole. This is totally different, and it's not a remake. So I'll explain. So American Gothic was an American mystery drama series, and it was created by Corinne Brickenoff. And this premiered on CBS June 22nd, 2016, ended September 7th, 2016 of the same year. Ran for 1 season, 13 episodes. And it was, like I said before, it was a murder mystery. And the plot was the family was called the Hawthorns, and they were very rich. And they discovered that their recently deceased patriarch could have been a serial killer. And there were suspicions that one of them may have been his accomplice. So in the cast of someone was working for him. So that's interesting premise. It does sound very interesting. So I'll read the cast stuff. We have Juliet Rylance, and she played Allison Hawthorne Price, and she is the eldest sister who is running for mayor. And we have Anthony Starr. He played Garrett Hawthorne. He played the oldest brother. We have Justin Chatwin. He played the younger brother in the show. And we have Megan Ketch as Tessa Ross. She played the youngest sister and wife of Brady. Okay. And the actor who played Brady Ross, Elliot Knight, that's her husband. He's a police officer. Also, so Justin Chatwin played Cameron Hawthorne. Stephanie Leonidas played Sophie Hawthorne, that played his wife. Okay, and Gabriel Bateman played Jack Hawthorne, that's played the son. Also, let's see, and the mother, as Madeline Hawthorne, that was played by Virginia Madsen. Oh, she's a great actress. She really is. And she played the mother of Mitch and Allison, Garrett, and Tessa and Cam. Also recurring was Enrico Colantoni. I can't say his name. He was the running mate again. He was running against Allison Hawthorne, and he was mayor. He was mayor of the town. And Jamie Sheridan played Mitch Hawthorne. He played in, I think he played in flashbacks or like that, and of the Hawthorne. He was the matriarch. And also Dylan Bruce played Allison's husband. He was Tom Price. And let's see, who else was in there? Well, I guess that's it, pretty much. So that was a great murder mystery. I never seen the show. I've heard about it. I remember the promo. So there's a few episodes on YouTube, and I watched it. And this should have continued, but I don't know what other mystery they would do with the family. But that was a good series. It really was. And so right now I'm going to play the promo of the show of American Gothic. So sit back and enjoy, and I'll be right back. Thank you, everyone.
Silver Bell's killer committed 6 murders. His calling card, a single Silver Bell.
This can't be what it looks like.
If we don't control this story, it will ruin all of us.
It does feel like the killer could be someone close to us.
You're a grenade.
Then maybe you should handle me carefully.
Okay, everyone, I am back. I hope you enjoyed the promo for American Gothic. Like I said before, that was a good murder mystery. I watched a couple of episodes on YouTube. They did reveal the accomplice, so spoiler alert. It was Sophie. She did that. It was Cameron's wife. So she did that. I don't know. I read the plot online. I won't go into it, but that's what happened. The actress who played Stephanie Leonidas, she was an English actress. She was best known in the sci-fi series Defiance, if you are a sci-fi fan. And she is half Greek. Her father was from Cyprus. Her mother was English. And I've seen her talk on YouTube, being interviewed, and she's a lovely girl, lovely lady. And she's still acting, and probably mostly from England, like that. So I hope they put this on DVD, or they would probably stream it. I would watch the whole thing. Maybe I'll check it out. I will see. Okay. So that's it for this show. I'm going to do a recap right now and episode 28 for today. So here we go. From the 1950s, I talk about the TV sitcom The Adventures of Hiram Holliday. From the 1960s, the anime series Laurel and Hardy. From 1970s, the crime drama Delvecchio. From 1980s, the TV sitcom Better Days. From 1990s, the crime drama The Big Easy. From the 2000s, the sitcom Big Day. And from the 2010s, the mystery drama American Gothic. That's from the 2010s. So that was an interesting show I put together. And once this episode is published, you can listen to wherever podcast is available. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, Breaker, Overcast. Excuse me. Also, it'll be uploaded on my YouTube channel, TV Oblivion, the podcast. And also, it'll be posted on my social media accounts, Facebook and Twitter. So this is Pika Sans, your host for TV Oblivion, the podcast, where shows are largely forgotten and rarely syndicated and fall into TV oblivion. That's the way it is, folks. So So long, everyone, and I hope everyone have a good day. And here is the Pick and Pluck song. Just sit back and enjoy, and I'll be back with a new episode very soon, probably next weekend. Take care, everyone. So long.